Welcome back to York, Carolina. You're in for a treat. My Fair Lady, the musical, coming to the Peace Center now playing. We have Kevin Pariseau here with us this morning. He plays Colonel Pickering in the show. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
The show was fantastic. It was, it's a classic show.
Totally. It's one of the great iconic American musicals, and it's such a great production of it, too.
Right.
It's so lovely.
So this story is based off of a book.
It's based off of a play that George Bernard Shaw wrote in 1913. It's
Pygmalion.
Pygmalion.
Yeah.
And that name Pygmalion is from a Greek myth where it's a sculptor who builds a sculpture of a woman. He can't find anyone in the town where he lives, and he creates a sculpture. The gods pity him, and they turn it into a real woman. So in our play, a man sort of creates a new woman out of a flower girl.
Right, a flower girl that could never pass in upper society. So this phonetics professor decides that, oh, well, I can make her into a, upper crust by changing the way she speaks and the way she acts. So.
Right, he decides. Well, he says that he could pass her off as a duchess at the ball, and my character says, well, I'll bet you can't.
Right.
And then we're off to the races.
And then to see if she can actually do it, if she can kind of change and become this duchess. And lots of craziness ensues. And it's, of course, people know the movie from Audrey Hepburn and all of that.
Yes.
But there are some changes in this production, I would say.
Yeah, Bart, our director, has decided to make the play, the musical, something that will appeal to the people who do like the movie, as well as people who are living in the 21st century. I mean, like this. It's a work of art, and as a work of art, it gets redefined and reoriented as you go along, and I think that's what keeps it relevant. But it's a very, very, it appeals to both a modern audience and those people who want to see the movie.
Right. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I would say the ending is very, very 2020.
Oh, absolutely, yes. This is really. Interestingly, in the 50s, Rex Harrison dominated that show, and so as a result, it sort of was Henry Higgins' story. But in our production, I really feel like it's finally Eliza's story. She's the one who's in control of the arc of the show, and yeah, the ending is interesting.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because your dynamic on stage it's so quick, like the timing. I mean, timing in Broadway and in musicals always matters, but I feel like with this show it has to be extremely quick. How do you master that? I'm sure you're gonna be like, well, decades of doing this, but like, how do you master that type of like quick-witted and like has to land right in the right space?
Well, we rehearsed for a long time. We rehearsed for 6 weeks, and then we tried out in previews in front of audiences. But really, the thing that with this show that became a real challenge was making sure we had all the accent worked down. I mean, it's one thing to be quick-witted in an American accent in my own voice, but then to be, have a British accent on top of it. We had a wonderful dialect coach come in and work with us on our accents, and that was the biggest struggle, actually. Was making sure we all had those accents, because it's a play about accents.
Right. Do you ever go, like, you're in a coffee shop, you're in Starbucks next door. Do you ever just go into it just to see if you can kind of?
I should. In fact, I'll go to Starbucks now and see if I can pass myself off.
People are like, you're not.
You're not British.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's great. So the show.
I should try to go into a Southern accent.
You should.
American Southern, and see if I can pass
myself. Give me a little. What do you think, Southerner?
Oh God, no, people will.
He's like, don't do it. He's like, people will hate me. Will boycott.
They'll be like, that's not here, that's Georgia, or whatever.
That's pretty good. I think you could pass off as a little Southern. So the show plays through Sunday at the Peace Center.
Right. We have shows every evening, and then on the weekend, 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. So very few opportunities left to check it out.
And the crowd was great last night, and they really enjoyed it. They were singing all the songs, of course. I could have danced all night as one of the big songs. There's so many of them in that.
Oh, yeah, on the street where you live, I could have danced all night. Get me to the church on time. I mean, these are like the most iconic musical theater songs from the golden age of musicals, the 1950s, 1960s. These are beautiful, beautiful songs, and beautifully sung by our company.
Right, and you guys did a beautiful job last night. The costumes were amazing. The sets were great.
Those are Tony Award-winning costumes.
It won some things.
Oh yeah, beautiful. There were 94 wigs in the show, 136 hats. I mean, like, it's an enormous operation.
And you guys did it flawlessly. Thank you for coming and talking to us about it. PeaceCenter.org for ticket information. Again, running through Sunday at the Peace Center. Go check it out.
Yeah.